Come now, Johnny!
Well, welcome to Vauxhall versus GC Foster Lions, the top of the table clash. Been zoning on the action for the past minute or two. So far, from what I've seen, some poor kicking skills by the kickers from both teams. We saw Ryan Nashigrand failing to find touch on 2 occasions, and now we see Everton Dunga Richards finding touch but with a bounce infield, so lucky there to retain the ball. But here's Vauxhall on the attack. They're deep inside GC's versus 20. That's Omar Jones, aka Roach, taking it into contact there. See Ramon offloading there to Jaddy Clark. Nice tight run there by Clark, but he's taken to ground by Sub-Zero. O'Neill McCullough hooker for Vauxhall, passed out to Kemar Gray, British, who offloads to Dunga. Dunga is taken into touch. Sorry, taken down there by Linval Green. British sends one out wide. Ball is recovered there by Ryan Hilton, who is playing on the wing today. Here's Roche at hooker. Passes to Moinjo, who attacks the line. Sends a lovely long ball to Jaddy Clark. But oh my word, the ball ends up in the hands of Stephen, who offloads to the man himself, Sub-Zero. British is after Sub-Zero. Lovely diving tackle to get Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero taking his time. GC on the attack still. Here comes Griffin. Ball played out there too. The GC Foster is at the center there. I'm not sure who that is, but the referee goes across and there was a try. Ball scored there by GC's Foster Steve Miller from a lovely long pass, and Ryan Grant is about to undertake the conversion. So we see the Ryan Grant lining up for his kick. Comes in and puts it comfortably over. And it's half time. GC Foster having the last say there at the end of the half. Lovely break of the interception by Stephen Scott. Ball ending up in the hands, who offloaded it to Ryan Sub-Zero Spence. And then the ball ended up in the hands of Steve Miller, who graciously dove in for the try. Advantage GC Foster. So GC scores. We're now at the halftime interval. GC Foster leading 16 points to 8. Scorers for GC so far have been Steve Miller,
1 try.
Ryan Grant,
Antonio Burke, 1 try. Ryan Grant making the 2 kick so far.
So Grant with 2 conversions, and Giant and the Giant Antonio Baker with a try of his own. For Vauxhall, Everton Dunga Richards got on the score sheet, and also Garfield Byfield. So this game is interestingly poised as we get ready for the second half. The NCC Shield is on the line. Basically, the winner of this game would almost guarantee themselves, to be crowned the regular season champion. Both teams are only on one loss. Therefore, it's interestingly poised. Vauxhall has the Sharks left to play. GC has Ligoni left to play, so it's interestingly poised. And here comes the man himself, Mr. Carlisle Berger, player coach at the Vauxhall Vultures. Mr. Berger, how is it going so far? Your team is down 16-8 at halftime. What is going wrong with the boys out there?
Too eager with the ball, not completing the sets. We have spoke, and we should see a better second half. Both teams very competitive, hard tackling, good running. The GC Foster team, very good in terms of their set plays. Vauxhall getting into their own. We should see a much improved second half from both sides. Well, I know definitely from the Vultures.
Are you feeling pressure as the defending champions and as the #1 team for the past 3 or so years in Jamaica? Is there pressure on this Vultures outfit to really live up to the expectations that the fans and the oppositions really have of them?
Yeah, definitely there is pressure, but that's what we love. That's what we strive on. Pressure. As long as you are champions, then you don't expect to just come out and just be easy, and everybody will say, okay, they are champions, so they'll step back and give us the opportunity to win again. But not everybody's coming full guns, but we are more than capable and we are ready for the challenge. GC Foster, very good opponent and very good one to actually, it's almost like they decide in the championship, and we are here to see through the end. We will be victorious. We will.
Well, this game certainly is going to determine who will be crowned the regular season champions. Both teams having equal record, only losing one game. But for you, do you think it is a standard of the Club Rugby League that has improved this season, or is it that the Vultures have weakened? I mean, we see the Vultures losing for the first time to the Sharks in the regular season in a number of years, and right now, they're under pressure here from GC Foster. Is it the quality? Are Jamaican teams playing better rugby league, or is it the Vultures that's having an off year?
Jamaican teams playing better rugby league. You look at the GC Foster team, you have a lot of guys who are on scholarships, you have a lot of guys who are playing in the collegiate leagues. Also, these are players who are very, very talented in terms of their skill sets and physical ability. So it's definitely an improvement in terms of the standard of league in the island, which will also create an impact on competitiveness for us.
Yes, yeah, we see even Spanish Town Vikings, claiming the scalp of the Dohena Park Sharks so far this season. We see the Vikings even drawing with the once mighty and invincible JDF Warriors. So, we definitely agree with you there. I mean, Berger, you're also a part of the national. I mean, you went to Canada with the boys in July, and based on what you have seen, I mean, have you seen? Are you impressed with any player who may not have made that squad, who you think is one for the future?
The number 10 player for GC Foster, I'm not quite sure the name right now.
So that's Antonio Baker.
Antonio Baker,
the giant himself.
It's a beast of a player. Very, very good attacking skill in terms of his strength. He holds the ball very well, while not so well, but he's a very strong runner and a very hard runner. So he's one that we are looking forward to bring into the national program to harness his skill and to make the program a better one. We're also seeing Dunga, the fullback from Vauxhall, a former national player, a little bit on the edge in terms of the discipline of the game, but he's coming to his own, and we hope that we can get him back into the national program. So those two are two players who we are looking at and are not looking bad right now.
Well, I certainly agree with you. I don't know if many people realize that that Antonio Baker, who we are referring to, he only started playing rugby league 2 years ago, and I mean, he has become a real dominant force as we see the Vultures attacking GC's 20-meter air right now. Vauxhall looking good, lovely inside ball there too.
Yeah, very good number.
From Ramon to, was that Jadiq? To Jadiq, but unfortunately that inside ball came on play number 5, so it's actually a turnover to GC Foster. Poor marker work there we see from Jadiq there, allowing Adrian to to easily beat him at marker there, and they're also offside. But you know, as you mentioned, Dunga, you know, Everton. Oh, okay. Well, Berger will have to leave the commentary booth at this time. He's actually going to join this game as a player and to try and help his team to stay in this one. So, you know, we do thank you, Berger, for your insights, and, you know, hopefully we can come back to the conversation, you know, at the end of the game or so. So here we see was that an offload there by the big man?
Excellent offload. Wow. He created a 3-on-2 attack. The player held on to the ball much too long. He had support on his left, he had support on his right, held on onto the ball much too long, and was easily tackled. That should have been a clear try by GC Foster. Here we see Mr. Chin, and near the GC Foster just breaks to the tackle of the fullback, but was tackled by the outside centre of Vauxhall.
Is that Chin formerly of the Ligonier of the Renegades?
Exactly. That's
playing for GC Foster?
Playing for GC Foster.
Okay, certainly a marquee addition to the camp.
Yes.
A surprise there. But you also will observe, Berger, that your team, the work at mark has been very poor by the boys. You know, we see them chasing the hooker and giving a lot of space.
A and B defenders are not properly set, and they're not properly aligned, so you find that happening. So what you find that, you know, the GC Foster is manipulating that. They're working around the rock area, and they're working effectively around the rock area.
Yes, marching all the way up to the Vauxhall try line there, but good defense here by Vauxhall kept them out, you know. So it's an interestingly poised game at 16-8 at this stage. So let's see, Berger, if you can get out there and change the fortunes of your team. Thank you. So as Berger leaves the commentary booth in an effort to join the field of battle, you know, his team is down at this moment. So the veteran, you know, one of the most experienced rugby league players in the country, taking off his coaching shirt to put on his player shirt. You know, it's going to be interesting now to see if he can change this game. You know, GC had a glorious opportunity there to actually add points to the board, but some poor decision making on tackle 4 and 5 there. Probably should have gone for the kick. You know, so Vauxhall escaped. Here we see Mohendra Thompson with the ball to kick. Also, an upcoming DJ goes by the name Daro. Good footballer, good rugby league player. Goes for touch, and he doesn't find touch. Ball there goes to the GC Foster winger, who saunters upfield and foolishly tries to pass the ball. Foolishly tries to pass the ball there and allows Vauxhall to get an attacking into an attacking position again. So GC Foster again penalized for being in an offside position. This GC team is showing a lot of indiscipline, really. Also a bit of inexperience there. The winger seems to be Stephen Winter, forcing the issue after recovering that ball from the kick. Forcing a pass and unfortunately turn over the ball. There is Mr. Winter. One of the fastest rugby league players around, but perhaps not one of the fastest heads. Should have kept that ball. But here comes Dunga, the big powerful runner, pushing through, holding onto that ball. Corralled there by 3 or 4. Ball seemed to be knocked on there by Vauxhall. The try line was begging, and it's going to be a scrum to GC Foster. There we see Mr. Berger. He was just in the commentary booth, going across to join his team on the field. GC Foster will have this field at the scrum. Ryan Grant is the one putting the ball in. And let's see if they will successfully bring it as one out. Stephen Scott running from 13, taking that ball into contact. Here goes Adrian, one of the faster players around as well. Grinning is at hooker for Vauxhall. He goes, sends a long pass out to Kareem. Kareem opens up. The young centre forces a pass off back to Grinning. And referee has said that there was a bit of a blocking there as he ran behind his own teammate. So again, basic rugby league sense lacking from this GC Foster outfit, even though they are currently in the lead. I mean, they're exiting their own half. They are not yet at half line, and rather than securing that ball and pounding away at the meters and getting to a good kick to relieve pressure, they have resorted to fancy steps and pop passes and giving the ball back to the Vultures, who are now in prime position to score again. It's definitely one of the challenges that rugby league on a whole in this country faces. You know, a lot of these players, you know, they have a background in rugby union where, you know, it's a continuous game, and you know, players oftentimes tries to keep the ball alive, and you know, putting too many efforts into passing versus securing meters and gaining yards. But here comes Vauxhall putting the ball out wide. Here goes Moindru on the ball. Going for the trial line is Omar Jones. He is corralled there by a good tackling from GC Foster. Ball back out. And referee right on spot to award the try there. Easy saunter in there at the end for Ryan Grant. Poor defending by the Fostodians, who failed to sweep across the field and have the ground covered. So it's now 16-12. Ryan Grant, they're appealing to his team to play with better control and better discipline. I mean, that try certainly came from some poor decision making from the GC Foster players. The last two times they had their hands on the ball. First, the winger Stephen Winter, after recovering the ball from a Vauxhall kick, foolishly trying to offload and tackle one. He wasn't even over the half line, gifting the Vultures the ball, and then the Vultures gleefully attacking GC's half, turned the ball over to GC, who again went for some fancy passes and steps, resulting in a blocking call by the referee. Mojo goes for the kick, and it's no good. Clearly no good there. So 16-12. This one is interestingly poised. So GC now with the kickoff, and they will get this ball back because the ball has found touch from the kickoff. Advantage GC. We certainly have a battle royal on our hands between this GC Foster Lions team and the Vauxhall Vultures. At stake is the NCC regular season crown. Inside ball there from Stephen Scott to Ryan Grant, who is taken to ground. Here comes Adrian, the speedy fellow, attacking the line. Goes out to the wing. Kareem Harris with the ball, being manhandled there by the Vauxhall defense. What will GC do in this situation? Ryan Grant foolishly offloads, and O'Neill McCullough recovers for Vauxhall. So GC Foster showing a lot of inexperience right now. Here goes Dunga on another of his big runs, confronted by at least 5 GC Foster players there, shrugging off at least 4 of them. Here goes Sandino now, losing his scum cap. But he was tackled, wasn't he? But the referee is playing on. I'm sure he was tackled there, but play on, says the referee. Vauxhall is looking good. Is that Berger with the fake? Ball knocked on there, covered by Stephen Winter. If he gets on the outside, this might be a try. But he's taken to ground. What has the referee seen? Oh, he's lost the ball again. Winter is having a horrible game. That's the second ball the youngster is losing. Taking into contact there. You know, some believe this youngster could have been in the national team to Canada, but certainly we're seeing that though he has a lot of speed, but his decision making really needs to improve. Twice now he has recovered the ball for GC Foster and tackle one, and has foolishly lost the ball back to Vauxhall. Here goes Berger. Vauxhall recovered the ball. Vauxhall still in possession. A bit lucky there. Lucky not to have had a knock-on awarded there. Is it another offside? Yes. So right now, GC Foster really struggling. That's about the 4th or 5th offside that have been called against him in the second half. So really and truly, they need to be more disciplined. Here goes Dunga for touch. It's a big kick into touch. GC Foster players slow in getting back. Body language is very negative right now. Certainly, they seem to be conceding the upper hand in this game to Vauxhall, and of course the champions are very experienced campaigners. You give them an inch, they will take a mile. Here goes Dunga into contact, bursts through easily. Going for the trial line, there's Dunga. Finally stopped at the trial line, but again he's stopped. GC short on the right hand side. Here goes Dunga going for the trial line again. Tackle was called there by the referee. He seemed to have fallen short in any case. And Vauxhall goes over for their 4th try, it seems. Yeah, they were always outnumbered there on the right side. No surprises there. Vauxhall finding space on the right to work through. GC Foster, they have been a bit foolish with the ball in hand. There's no other word really to use. They've been very foolish with the ball in hand, and they have paid the ultimate price. The game is now tied at 16-all, I believe, with a kick to come from the maestro himself, Kemar British Grey. So this game is interestingly poised. 16-all, I believe. The Vultures, they're on a roll right now. I mean, GC Foster, they will need to regain some level of discipline in their sets in order to work their way back into this game. This goes over. Vauxhall will take a 2-point lead and one hand on the NCC Shield. And it's no good. No good. It's GC Foster with a kickoff there, going for a short kick. Ball goes to Kemar Gray, who is tackled to ground. Ball taken to contact there by Jade Harris. Big man is slow in getting up. Ball goes to Teach, who is confronted by Baker. But nice offload by Teach there.
Double offload from Vauxhall. Certainly using the ball. They're feeling confident. Here comes Dungas, one more of his weaving runs. Sends it wide. Ball recovered by GC. Here comes Winter, the speedster. Let us see if he will keep a hold of the ball this time. Yes. Lucky third time. Keeping the ball in his hands. Here goes Sub-Zero on one of his big runs. Taken down. Good contact work there by Omar Jones. GC Foster now gaining good yards upfield. That's Adrian at halfback there, at hooker there. Fine Sub-Zero. Whoa, sells a dummy. But he's taken down there now on tackle 5. They need a good kick here. Let's see what will happen. Goes to Grant. Grant puts the ball through. Recovered, well recovered there by, seems to be Ryan Hilton. And Ryan Hilton is manhandled by Ryan Grant there. Back into his own try area. Good work there by the GC Foster player Ryan Nash Grant. Bundling the smaller Ryan Hilton back over his try line and forcing a dropout for Vauxhall. That ball should be kicked from center field there. Why is he allowed to kick it from the side? But, well, perhaps the nets and everything. Ball goes back to Kareem Harris. Youngster takes it forward, solidly into contact. Corral there by Mohinja Thompson. Ball pass off to Baker. The big man pounding himself into the experienced Omar Jones there. Here goes Adrian again. Ball to Scott. Out the back to Linval Green, who is taken to touch. GC first on the attack, but they're not showing any good shape in attack. Speedster goes and offloads it and recovered there by the winger. Taken to ground again. You know, this GC Foster team, there's no shape on attack there. Directionless, I would dare say. Big man Baker goes for the try line. It's now tackle 5. What will GC do? Ball out in Linval. Sub-Zero. Ryan Grant. This should be an easy try. Easy try there for GC Foster. Lovely hands. In the end, ball tipped on by members in the back line. Vauxhall players seem to be furious. Maybe 1 or 2 shouts of forward there. Difficult to judge from this angle, but certainly GC Foster showing some good skills there. Bit of luck on their side with those flip passes. It was Ryan Sub-Zero Spence involved in one of those flick-on passes. Former Reggae Warrior. Had a solid game in Canada last year except for one error. But he didn't really make the effort to make the squad this year. And so the speedster was absent in Jamaica's 32-14 defeat at the hands of Canada. But here is the dreadlock winger. A flyer indeed. Seems to be playing at standoff today. You know, nice flick-on pass from him that results in a try. Grinning. The score is 20-16 in this enthralling encounter between these two powerhouses of Jamaican Rugby League. GC ahead by 4 points. Moinjo at the kick. He's gonna goes for the sideline. Goes for the sideline, and Mother Luck is on his side. Is that Robert Simmet who knocked that ball out? Yes, it is indeed Robert Zoo Smith, former standout prop who used to play straight with the Duane Park Sharks, now in the colours of GC Foster College. He was never a good catcher, and he certainly foolishly allowed that ball to bounce, and Vauxhall pounced. Here comes Vauxhall now at the put-in. Ball is passed out. Dunga has it. They're going wide to Roach. Roach goes for the try line. Offloads to Dunga. The big man goes toward the try line. Legs pumping, taken to ground hard. Roach goes for the line. And he loses it over the line. GC Foss has recovered that ball. Wild pass there from the halfback, but it's recovered by GC some way, somehow. GC needs to be controlling this set. They need to work this ball out and get to a kick. And Adrian tries to go by himself through the middle and loses the ball. Scrum down, Vauxhall. Again, GC Foss are showing their inexperience. Foolishly, Adrian tried there to split the two markers rather than simply run wide of the markers or pass the ball out to a forward. But here comes Vauxhall. They have a set play in hand. Roach goes in. Corralled and taken to ground there by Steve Miller. Nice fake there from Berger, who passes to Sandino, who finds his winger Ryan. Referee has called forward there against Vauxhall though. They needed to be a bit more. They need to be a bit more efficient in the execution of that play from the scrum. There we see the man himself, Breda, running on the wing for the Lions. He's the one who recovered that ball moments ago. But here's GC. They need to keep a hold of this ball and get out of their own half. Here goes Scott on one of his runs. He's keeping a hold of the ball and he goes to ground. Why he goes to ground? GC players, they keep going back into the ruck area. Why do they keep going back into the ruck area? Very poor skills there. But here's the speed of Adrian. Oh, he's held there. But it's high. The referee says it is high. And it will be GC Foster ball. Youngster there receiving a knock. A knock today to the throat. The referee has called high. GC now in a position to relieve a little bit of pressure on themselves. A good kick is needed to find touch. It is Spence who has the ball. Punts it. Yes, and he has found touch. They had a few problems finding touch in the first half. But they have changed the kicker. It was Ryan Grant who failed to find touch on a couple of occasions. Now it is Ryan Spence kicking. There we see a very famous man, Mr. Keith Jacko Jackson. He is a coach of Vauxhall and one of the longest serving administrators in rugby in Jamaica, whether at Rugby League or at Rugby Union. He was there at the beginning, one of the founding fathers really of Rugby League back in 2004 with William Marston and Paul Morris. Here comes the big man though, Baker, ramming himself into Tej. Vauxhall jumping out into the edge. Why is he going across? Oh, he sells a dummy. Taken to ground though, that was Kareem Harris. Lovely dummy, but taken to ground. Here goes Sub-Zero. Sells a dummy. Dances. Goes for the try line. Is he over? He's trying to get up. He's not releasing him. Should have been a penalty, but ball out the back. Knocked on there by Carlisle Berger. Wow. Wow. An exciting passage of play right there. GC Foster playing the wedge ball out the back there. Berger reading the play. Going for the interception of the second pass. But unfortunately for the veteran, knocking on the ball. Unfortunately for Vauxhall, but fortunate for GC. Would have been great to see if the elder himself, Carlisle Berger, would have had the pace in his legs to finish that try. And there seems to be something happening here. The referees talking to perhaps the captains, warning them. More likely about the talking. He's not very happy. Gary Mafu laying down the law there. O'Neill McCullough, he's not happy either. Representing Vauxhall. He's upset. What's the call here? What's happening here? Okay, so the referee has instructed both captains to call their teams in and have a word with them. Both teams being issued a warning, obviously. Certainly, it's probably a case where the referee feels that his authority is being questioned too much by the players. And so he wants this game to be taken in hand. Vauxhall Vultures, very strong history in rugby league. One of the founding clubs back in 2005 in that inaugural season, taking out that championship in the... How many years has it been since the league has been around? It's been... First season was 2005. 2005 to... This is okay, so it's been 7 seasons, I believe. 7 championships have been played. This is the 8th, right? And Vauxhall, they have won all but 2 of those championships. The only blight on their esteem record was one year when the JDF Warriors swept all comers in front of them, having a perfect season, claiming the Community Shield, the regular season shield as well as the Premiership. And then 3 years ago or 2 years ago, Duhaney Park, in an infamous win, claiming a Premiership, taking the Premiership from Vauxhall in a game that was blown off after about 65 minutes. But the Vultures came back strongly last year and with an excellent second half performance demolished the Sharks in the finals. Big chase is on. Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero there, failing to feel that ball. Vauxhall has the ball in their possession. Ryan Hilton tackled up there by Steve Miller. Here comes Eric, taken to ground by Vauxhall. GC Foster foolishly giving up excellent field position to Vauxhall, and you know Vauxhall will make them pay. Here goes Ryan Grant. And the referee awarded the try. So it's now 20-all. The referee awarding the try there to Vauxhall. So this game, the intensity of this game continues. So big kick now from Everton Dunga for the lead. It's a crop kick. And so GC will have to attack. So GC suffering on their right wing, Steve Miller and Linval Green at centre and wing. Not doing a good job of containing Vauxhall on that edge. But here comes Omar Jones on one of his big charges. Some big hands off there from the Reggae Warrior. Taken to ground by a fellow Reggae Warrior, Stephen Scott. GC needs to be disciplined. Vauxhall here will be looking to catch him offside and for those quick offloads. O'Neill McCullough bossing up things there at hooker. Calling for the switch around. Ball goes to Jadiq, who is taken to ground. Jadiq crying there for a penalty. which is a common feature of his game, always complaining to the referee. Vauxhall on the charge. Here comes Jadick. Is that Jadick again? Ball offload and oh, referee is saying it's 5. Talk to you. Well, we are on the tip of our toes right now. Very exciting game by all standards. Skill factor not that high. Too many knock-ons. Too many handling errors really from both teams, but it's a close game. I believe it's probably 20 all. So it's going to be interesting now to see what will come from this set. Will GC push the issue or will they safely carry this ball out? Sub-Zero goes, makes a decision to keep that ball. Wrestle to the ground there. Kareem Harris is at hooker. Again, he cuts back into the markers. Certainly not what is expected from a member of the Reggae Warriors national training squad. They keep cutting back. Ball to Baker, and the ball goes to ground, but went behind. Here comes Scott, passes it to Ryan Grant. Ball goes out on the wing, and to the winger, and he's put into touch easily, into touch there. So GC Foster showing again a bit of inexperience in what they're doing. Breaking there with only the fullback to beat. Certainly a better decision would have been an inside ball back to the right versus going out to the wing there where the fullback had the winger covered. But it's now Vauxhall's time to show what they can do. Here they go. Vauxhall on the charge. The referee has spotted something and they're not bound at the scrum, and it's a penalty against Vauxhall. Pass there to Kareem. Good steps. Forcing the ball and tackle one again. These GC Foster players, they are just amazing. Again, forcing the ball and tackle one. That seems to be Owen Linton. Seems to be Django there who forced that ball. Playing into the hands of Vauxhall, who showed them a lot of space, knowing that the inexperienced Fostodians would try to do it all on the first tackle, and they bought the bait. Vauxhall ball. Time for the champions to go to work again. Here they go. Long ball out to Dunga. The big man charged upfield. Big man stopping there. Seemed to have been injured in the play. Maybe feeling that, he was tripped or something. Big man puts the ball down on the ground. It really should be a... But the referee seems to be taking control of the situation. I'm not sure what the call is right now. Could have been that Dunga had his toe stepped on or something, or maybe he felt that Sub-Zero used his feet in the tackle, but we're not certain what happened there. Not having the benefit of instant replay, of course. But the referee, I don't know what's happening. He's talking to Everton Richards. Let's see what the call will be after this. I believe Richards put that ball on the ground. It should be it should be a lost ball, but who knows? Maybe the referee Dunga there showing what he think happened, saying that Sub-Zero used his feet in effecting the tackle. So referee Mafu taking charge of his game. We are still awaiting the outcome. Is he going to send him off? Yes, referee seems to have sent off Dunga. So it should be a penalty here, but I don't know. Well, he's giving the ball back to Vauxhall. A strange sequence of events. He is sent off Dunga for that outburst. Seems to be a penalty to Vauxhall here for a dangerous tackle. Okay, but Dunga is still on the field. My bad. He was not sent off by the referee. So obviously the referee deemed that play should continue. And Dunga is going to go for a long kick here to touch. His foot seems to be fine. Blasts it into oblivion. Ball to Vauxhall. So Vauxhall with the ball. Jade will do the first carry. Big man takes it in. As expected, he offloads. His favorite play is always offloading. Offloads Anil McCullough, who is taken to ground. Here comes the big man, Jadiq. Calling offside again against offside there being called against GC Foster again. GC defenders looking very nonchalant right now. There's a gap between Baker and Adrian where the referee is. Certainly, I'm sure if it's not close, it's going to be exploited. Dunga is directing traffic. You know the big man is going to go. Dunga taps it, goes for the line. The big man charges the line. And he's stopped. Sandino, he'll go for it. And he does go for it. And he's stopped. Look at GC Foster. Ball knocked on there by GC. By Vauxhall, sorry. Scrum to GC. Again, the player goes through the markers. This time it works for him, but really this tactic of the GC, it seems to be a tactic by GC Foster to really go through the markers versus around them. Grenade breaks, goes to ground and is tackled up there by Dunga, who is slapping the player. The referee doesn't see it, and the referee is playing on. National goes, passes it to Winter. He breaks, looking for the pass, trying to build up his speed, taken to ground. GC, they're on their attack. They're not organized. They're all over the place. Losing the ball, Dunga picks it up. And he's tackled up there by GC. I mean, GC just seeming to lack direction really in a lot of what they're doing. That was a very, very poor set from the first students right there. Many talented athletes, very fast, very strong, but really their knowledge of the game is certainly, or lack of knowledge of the game is certainly what will probably cause them to give up full points in this game if they do lose. Here goes Vauxhall again. Road sells a dummy, goes forward. Vauxhall in prime position right now to close this game out with a try. Big man Ramon taken to ground. Another big man is ramming in. Tackle 4. Vauxhall. Love the dummy there. And try there scored by Ryan Hilton. Excellent try there by Ryan Hilton. Selling the dummy and going through the 2 GC Foster tacklers. Well, certainly a very intense end to this game. As predicted, the inexperience of GC Foster coming through at the end, playing some very foolish rugby league in their exit sets in the last 10 minutes, gifting the ball to Vauxhall over and over again, going for the short kick. Vauxhall recovers and they're in control. Here comes Dunga. Some big handoff there, but he has knocked on the ball, so GC Foster will probably have one final chance to save some points in this game. Let's see what they can do. Apologies there. It was actually a penalty awarded to GC Foster. So let's see what they can do. Can they construct a try scoring set? Here goes Baker. Goes to ground. Loses the ball. On tackle 1. Big man there. Losing the ball on tackle 1. A very predictable play from GC Foster. That may well have cost them the game, because I'm sure it's only about a minute or 2 remaining in this one. But here goes Vauxhall trying to further drive nails into the coffin. Dunga there is corralled. Ball pass out to Jade. He's going to take it in an offload, I'm sure. Big man goes to ground. The referee has spotted something, and I think it's going to be a penalty against Vauxhall. It's GC Foster ball. Let's see what they'll make of it. What's up? Tons of space on the left side, but can GC exploit it? Have they seen that there's a lot of space on the left side? No, they're slowing down the game, and they're going to give the ball to Winter, who passes it. Quick hands from GC. Kareem Harris goes on the charge, but he's taken down there. Good break from GC. Another penalty there. Referee calling full time on the game, and Vauxhall are victorious. Good comeback there by the champs, fighting their way back into this one on the back of many mistakes by these GC Foster Lions players. But take nothing away from this Vauxhall performance. It was gritty, it was tough, it was them digging deep, and they will be feeling very proud of themselves today, almost assuring themselves of the NCC Shield, because they only have the Sharks to face, and even if they lose to the Sharks on goal difference alone, they'll certainly win the regular season crown. Good performance there from the Vultures. So the players, they're greeting each other after a very hard-fought battle. Certainly not a game demonstrating excellent rugby league skills, but certainly demonstrating excellent commitment and heart from players of both teams. In the end, I think the Vultures were a bit more structured in the last 15 to 20 minutes of the game, while GC really disintegrated into one-manship, trying to step and shimmy and jimmy their way around the park versus just be consistent with their sets and get to a good kick and relieve pressure. But, hats off to both teams, and enthralling game. Not many fans at the venue today, but certainly those on hand would have enjoyed a good game of rugby league. Mr. Carlisle Berger, he was in the commentary booth with us before going on and really changing the game for the Vultures. Down 16-8 at halftime, Vultures finishing with a flourish, finishing 24-20. Berger, what was the difference when you went onto the field? Tell us, what did you say to the boys? How were you able to influence them to really up their game and get back into this one?
As I said earlier on, we just had to finish our sets. And I said to the guys, we need to keep our composure, play the sets out, make sure that we minimize on the mistakes. And if we can minimize on our mistakes and play our sets, then we'll be far more effective. So what we did basically, we did ones, twos, hitting ups, basically making the GC Foster players move to one side of the field. Then we use our backs, distributed the ball on the outside. The wingers were easy tries for the wingers. So what we did was kept our composure.
We saw there where the Vultures probably scored maybe 3 tries on your left go down the pitch. So certainly that was a targeted area there. So a job well done there. But what do you think about the defense of your team? GC were only able to score 1 try in the 40 minutes in the second half. What was the difference on defense?
Well, we stepped up in terms of defense. We realized that in terms of the ruck areas, players were beating us around the ruck areas. So we got our A and B defenders, properly set on the field so that we could at least protect the ruck area. Once we protected the ruck area, then they were trying to move on the flanks. Really and truly, we were a bit stronger out on the flank, so we were able to shut them down quickly. As a result of which, we were able to contain them to about maybe in the 3rd or 4th set, we were able to get back the ball and really make some very good plays of it.
But one of the things that I found intriguing for the Fostodians is that in the second 40 minutes, in the second half, I did not see once where GC, in exiting their own half, I did not see where they actually got to a kick. I did not see where they got to tackle 4 or 5 and clear the ball. They kept passing the ball, and a lot of errors resulted with Vauxhall capitalizing. I mean, do you think the GC Foster players were overconfident in terms of, they thought they had it in the bag, and so they kind of moved away from basic rugby league and were trying to do too much too early?
Not just overconfidence, that was a factor, but another factor that I thought that was settling into the GC Foster was that there was no leadership. There was no defined leadership on the field for these GC Foster. Someone who actually, you could hear their voice being dominant on the field, actually guiding the players. So as a result of which, players were taking it on themselves, doing their own little thing instead of actually synchronizing as a team. When it comes to our team, as a senior player, I was able to say to guys, we need to do X, Y, or Z. Guys were able to listen, being, seen a little bit more mature in the game. Guys were listening. As a result of that, we got a little bit more cohesiveness in terms of how we were moving the ball and how we were carrying out our set plays.
I definitely agree there, Berger. When you watch this tape, one of the things you'll hear me saying over and over again is the inexperience of the Fostodians is showing. But I thought as well there for the Vultures, there were a couple of times when you guys could have gone for the 2 points when the game was tied, but you guys chose to go for the 6. I mean, was that the intent of the senior guys, or was it just players tapping on going or kicking to touch before you guys made a decision?
Before we made the decision, players actually tapped and go or kicked to touch, because actually when the score was 20-all, one of the decisions that was made that we would have kick for goal basically, so that we could at least end with the points. So, but players got a bit, hurried and tried to, be heroes. It happens in a game. But we quickly settled. Decision proved to be good because we were able to score the 4 points from that.
Yeah, certainly a good victory there. With this win, the Vultures have all but sewn up, the regular season crown. I mean, dethroning in the Sharks from last year, having the best record right now. You guys have the Sharks next week. You have only lost 1 game. They have lost 3. GC Foss have now lost 2 games. But your goal point average is certainly much higher than GC Foss. So, what can the fans expect next week in your encounter against the Sharks?
We are never a team to win by goal average. We always want to win in terms of the points. So we are going all out for the Sharks next week. It's one of our teams that we have had a long history in terms of, that rivalry in terms of fierce tackling, good running, good set plays. We know that the Sharks is a very technical team, very skilled in terms of their plays, and we know that they're not going to just lay down and just offer us the championship. They are going to give it their all, and we're definitely going to give it our all. So we are expecting a great game. So we are asking the fans to come out and experience, almost like a rugby league carnival type of setting. Sharks versus Vauxhall. It's almost like a grand finale.
All right, thank you, Burger, for your insightful analysis right there, and we'll see you next week at the Shark Den in Duino Park when the national champions Vauxhall Vultures, who today put 1 foot closer really to claiming the regular season crown, will face the Duino Park Red Sharks in what should be another good game. Thank you again, Burger.
Thank you, sir.